Hi there, this is Architect David. Welcome to Arkida, where you can learn anything and everything about construction. For this session, we will be talking about architectural acoustics or how acoustics is applied in architecture. Part 1. Architectural acoustics is the study of sound in homes and other buildings and the design of these structures for optimal acoustic performance, including control of sound transmission throughout the building, maintaining conditions for good speech intelligibility, and maintaining sound isolation for speech privacy. All of the sounds we hear on a daily basis can contribute to a host of problems. Environmental noise includes transportation noise, road traffic, railway, and aircraft, wherein wind turbine noise and leisure noise is also included. Leisure noise refers to all noise sources that people are exposed to during activities such as attending nightclubs, restaurants, fitness classes, live sporting events or live music venues, and listening to loud music through personal listening devices. Every element of a building's construction contributes to its acoustical characteristics. It's more than just walls and ceilings. It's the shape, the surfaces, the furniture, light fixtures, mechanical systems, and materials used in construction, which have all an impact on a building's acoustics. The bottom line is that now, more than ever, creating an optimal acoustics experience in any kind of building is as important as the look, feel, and function of the space to ensure the health and well-being of occupants. Noise control. This involves the following activities. 1. The control of airborne noises. Noise coming from the outside going inside the structure. Number 2 is the control of structure-borne noises. Noise within the structure that is causing disturbance to its neighboring areas or rooms. How to implement noise control? Through the insulation of sound or the shutting out of unwanted sounds from the outside. This requires a study of the sound insulating values of walls, partitions, doors, and windows, and a study of the ventilating systems to provide a basis for the reduction of the transfer of unwanted sound from one room to another, through the isolation of machines from the rooms or the building's structure. Another solution is the use of plants. Plants absorb sound waves through their leaves, branches, twigs, especially those with thick, fleshy leaves and thin petioles. Most rooms have highly reflective, flat walls, ceilings, and floors, and they can be a lot like echo chambers if left acoustically untreated. If you've ever been in an empty apartment or house, you'll be familiar with the way sound reverberates in empty space. We know that too much reverberation or echo makes for unsatisfactory acoustic experiences, but without some of it, our brains are equally frustrated in forming accurate sound images. So, direct sound is the sound that travels directly from the source to the receiving point, which is the ear. Direct sound is an undisturbed sound field, which means it is free of any reflections. As you can see in the picture below, the mannequin on the left is the receiving portion. So the direct sound, which is the green line here, means to say it is receiving the sound directly from the source. While reflected sound, the sound reflection occurs when sound waves bounce back from the surface of a solid like a flat wall. Many fascinating phenomena such as echo and reverberation are caused by sound reflection. Prolonged reverberation or long reverberation time is due to the large amounts of highly reflected surfaces and or to large volume of space which will take considerable time for reflected sound to die out. Effect of prolonged reverberation is blurring, which is harmful to both speech and music. Reverberation time is influenced by the volume of the room, the sound-absorbing qualities of the room's surfaces, and the number of people and furniture in the room. Echo is the distinct reflection of original sound, which results when the path of reflected sound is 20 meters or 65 feet or more than the path of the direct sound. If the difference is less than 20 meters, the reflected sound will reinforce the direct sound, which is desirable. Now, if you take a look at the pictures, as you see on the upper right, it is a church. And you can see all the reflective surfaces in both the ceiling and the wall, meaning to say that the speaker in the middle would like the sound to reflect up to the back of the audience. While the lower right picture is a classroom. As you can see, it has a different type of ceiling wherein it has a direct sound reflection surface and it has both sides that will reflect the sound itself. Then on the left side portion is a library, wherein you could see that the ceiling treatment here is using sound absorbent materials. Resonance is the reinforcement of certain sound frequencies due to sympathetic vibrations. This is especially the case in enclosed rooms with highly reflective surfaces. The effect would be to emphasize certain frequencies at the expense of others, which is undesirable for balance desired in rooms intended for music. While flutter echo is a rapid but repetitive succession of sounds caused by highly reflective parallel surfaces, wall-to-wall or ceiling-to-floor. While the undue focusing of sound is caused by concave surfaces, which causes sound to converge at certain points with resulting loss of energy in other parts of the room. As you can see in these pictures, they have different types of ceiling finishes which would give you the flutter echo effect, or the undue focusing of sounds, or the resonance. Sounds and noises around us can have a profound impact on everything we do. The music we listen to, the programs we watch, and the work conferences or school classes we attend can be either positively or negatively impacted by sound quality and acoustics. The first thing we need to know is that two types of sound reach our ears: direct sound and reflected sound. Both sounds are useful and even necessary, but since they work and travel differently, it's likely they are coming at us from different directions. So how should acoustic influence your next project? Start by considering the use of the building. While it's true that every building benefits from good acoustics, some buildings can't function properly without them. Many different building elements could impact sound quality depending on the source of the noise. These building elements might even be the source themselves. Absorbers are sound absorption products which absorb the extra sound waves that bounce around the space and cause poor acoustics, background noise, and bad echo. These sound absorbing materials are used to eliminate sound reflections to improve speech intelligibility, reduce standing waves, and prevent comb filtering. A wide variety of materials can be applied to walls and ceilings depending on your application and environment. These materials vary in thickness and in shape to achieve different absorbing rating depending on the specific sound requirements. While reflectors and diffusers are acoustical implemented to evenly distribute sound to avoid areas where sound quality is either weak, too excessive, or cannot be heard completely. Acoustic diffusion or sound reflection helps to provide wider sound coverage for speech and music and are often used to improve speech and intelligibility and music clarity in theaters, assembly halls, auditoriums, recording studios, and classrooms. Sound reflectors or diffusers effectively reduce interfering reflections in any one particular direction by helping to distribute the sound more evenly across the space. So as the picture has suggested, you have to combine the absorbers and diffusers in the design of your space. Now, where do you place acoustic panels? For absorbers, you place the acoustic panels at the first place on the wall where sound waves tend to hit before reaching the listener's ears. You place it 3 feet to 6 feet up from the floor in areas where much of the sound is produced by people sitting or standing in an enclosed space. While for diffusers, which are unlike sound absorption panels that are made of soft materials with lots of air pockets that prevent sound waves from bouncing back at you, a sound diffuser allows for the sound to reflect, but it breaks up the reflection so you don't get a clear echo. One of the benefits of using properly placed diffusers is that because they don't eliminate the sound waves that come at them, they don't deaden the sound in an environment. Instead, they give a listening area a more full, complete sound. In the picture here, you could see that the absorbers are placed at the end of the wall while the diffusers are roughly pushed back away from the speakers. If it is a mechanical noise issue, isolation is ideal. Machinery with moving parts will often introduce vibration into the structure at its points of contact. Vibrations can travel through a building like electricity traveling through a wire. So, introducing rubber or spring isolators between the machine and the floor can often yield significant reductions to sound heard from a noisy machine. The best way to solve acoustic challenges is to start with the architectural design. Room layout plays a major role in controlling sound. Incorporating sound-friendly materials into your design will improve room experience from the beginning and eliminate the need to make improvements later. Let's say a builder is constructing a new call center. These employees are talking on the phone all day. You have to install ceiling tiles with material that is better suited for the acoustics in a call center. In the event that you are designing a music room, a music hall, or even an auditorium, it is recommended that the surfaces of the front part of it must be highly reflective to enforce direct sound and throw it to the rear of the room. On the other hand, the rear must be highly absorptive so that the delayed direct sound will be absorbed and not be reflected to the front. Now, those who are tight in budget or would like a budget-friendly type of acoustics without spending too much on the materials, here are 10 simple soundproofing hacks. 1 is the big bookcase. If you aren't a fan of reading, there are other ways a bookcase can be of use. If there's a particularly thin wall in your home that freely lets noise in and out, add mass to the wall by placing a big bookshelf against it. The more books you add to the bookcase, the thicker its mass and its soundproofing effectiveness. For this hack to be wholly effective, make sure that the bookcase covers the wall completely. If possible, there should be no spaces at the sides, the top, or under the shelf. This way, sound vibrations will be unable to sneak around the bookcase. Another option is heavy furniture. Your couch and similarly heavy furniture will impede sound from traveling around the room. The more furniture in the room, the less sound can get around. But to implement this hack and get the best results, you have to know the strategic locations to install your heavy furniture. For instance, leaving the furniture in the center of the room is pointless. Instead, place your heavy furniture against walls to add mass to them. Then place your other furnitures in front or beside windows and doors where they can absorb any noise vibrations that try to get through these portals. Another hack is decorate the walls. Another way to add mass to your walls and minimize how much sound vibration can get through them is by hanging canvas, paintings, tapestries, and pictures on the walls. The heavier and thicker such decorative pieces are, the more effective they will be at minimizing how much sound can be transmitted through the wall. Another hack is to soundproof the air. The concept of soundproofing the air understandably sounds weird, but it actually works and is surprisingly easy to accomplish. All you need to do is make sure noise of your own, specifically white noise. To cancel out any noise from outside that has managed to make its way into your room, simply put on some white noise to drown it out. It's basically like fighting fire with fire. This hack works best if it is implemented in a closed room that has been soundproofed to some extent. This way, the white noise at reasonable volume will be able to drown out whatever muffled sound still managed to seep into the room. The next is heavy carpets or blankets. Heavy carpeting is excellent because it makes the floor of your home really comfy to walk and even lie on. Carpet also has the added advantage of being able to absorb sound. For example, if you install carpet on the floors from wall to wall, it will absorb much of the sound in that room and stop it from escaping to an adjoining room. Admittedly, it may be difficult convincing your noisy neighbors upstairs or in the next room to install thick carpets, but you can take the decision out of their hands by installing carpeting on your walls and your ceiling. This will effectively muffle any sounds being transmitted through the walls. To make the installation of carpeting more effective, install thick padding under the carpet. If you find installing carpets on the wall of a room to be too expensive, you'll be happy to know that old blankets will also serve. Hang your old blankets on the wall you are sharing with a noisy or nosy neighbor, and you'll significantly minimize sound vibrations from getting through. FYI, heavy moving blankets are most ideal for this hack. The thicker and denser the blankets are, the better. You can install them by nailing or gluing them or hanging them on curtain rods over the wall you are trying to soundproof. The next hack is shut the door. Sounds so simple, but there's more to it. Think of sound like cold. It's much easier for cold air to get into a room when a door is wide open. But when the door is closed, penetration is reduced. The thicker your door is, the more effective it will be at keeping out sound. This is why it is typically advised to opt for a door with a solid core. But even if your door is solid, there are probably still gaps around it that sound, just like cold, can seep in through. One particular gap that sound uses to get around the doors is the gap underneath the door. A gap exists between the door and the floor to ensure the door can be opened and closed smoothly without it being dragged across the floor. To block sound from getting in through this gap, you can block it with a thick rug. Alternatively, you can block the gap with a draft stopper, as shown in this picture. Installing a draft stopper is affordable and easy and a great alternative if you don't have any extra rug or carpeting lying around to clog under your door. It also works regardless of if your flooring is a hard surface or carpeting. Aside from blocking the gap under your door to keep out sound, there's more you can do to your door to make it more soundproof. For instance, by tactically positioning soft furniture in front of the edges of a door, any sound that gets past the door will be absorbed by the furniture. Also, because sound is basically vibrations, a fair amount of it can still penetrate a room by going through the door and not just around it. This is even more likely if the door doesn't have a solid core. Fortunately, you don't have to spend money replacing your door with a solid core one. To make the door more soundproof, simply hang a thick blanket on it, and the blankets will absorb the sound vibrations and stop them from getting into the room. If hanging a blanket seems impractical or simply unattractive to you, there's the option of simply hanging your coats on the door. The thick fabric of the coats will absorb the vibrations just as effectively as placing a blanket will. Note that this cheap and effective soundproofing hack will not only stop noise from getting in through your door, but it will also keep noise made within the room from getting out through the door. This huge benefit is sometimes couples who like their privacy in the bedroom will definitely appreciate. Another hack is shutting the windows. Burglars and sound love getting in through doors just as much as they love getting in through windows. To keep burglars and sound out, all you need to do is to keep your windows shut. But like solid core doors are more effective at keeping sound out, double or triple pane windows are also more effective than single pane windows. But upgrading to double pane windows can be pretty expensive. So instead of changing windows, close them, then cover them up with heavy curtains. The thick fabric of the curtains will absorb much of the sound vibrations that gets in through the closed window glass. And if you've got a little more money to spend, you may consider installing safety film or a glazing sheet over the glass of your windows. Cost-effective glazing sheet can be installed with ease and quickly to insulate your windows against external temperatures and sound. Lastly, like doors, sound can still find its way through cracks or gaps around your windows. This can significantly minimize the sound blocking effect of keeping a window shut. To fix this, seal cracks or gaps around your doors with weather stripping or acoustical caulk. But bear in mind that compared to weather stripping, acoustical caulk is a more permanent and long-lasting solution. The next hack is sound-absorbing wallpaper. Since you may not be able to shore up all your walls with a big bookcase, perhaps you'd like a hack that you can apply in all rooms. Ever heard of soundproof wallpaper? Soundproof wallpaper are not like regular wallpaper. For one, they are far thicker and denser than regular wallpaper, which makes them super effective at minimizing sound penetration. But like regular wallpaper, they are available in a wide variety of colors and designs. Soundproof wallpapers are available as acoustical panels or slippery latex that's covered with regular wallpaper. Either option is effective at dampening sound. So if the idea of hanging blankets or carpeting on all your walls seems extreme, then you'll probably prefer the subtle hack of soundproof wallpaper. The next is soundproofing paint. This is a soundproofing hack that is gaining traction among an increasing number of homeowners that want to spend as little as possible for a quieter home. The composition of sound reduction paint, which makes it heavy and imbues it with the ability to absorb sound vibrations, makes it a very effective soundproofing hack. While a lot goes into making soundproof paint, its biggest component is probably the ceramic additive in it. Sound deadening paint is non-toxic, so it's a hack that will keep down the noise without negatively impacting the health of your family or your pets. The paint is also available in a variety of colors, so you pick one that best suits your interior decor vision. And the last is egg cartons. Now that you've heard our hacks, let's talk about one you've probably heard of elsewhere but whose effectiveness seems doubtful. We are talking about egg crates. You probably heard the legend of how egg crates, minus the eggs of course, can be used to soundproof a room. If you are wondering if it's true, the answer is more of a maybe than a definite yes. Because of its design and feel, egg crates may remind you of the panels or foams used to coat recording studios. The difference is egg crates are far lighter and far less dense than actual acoustic panels. Because of its lack of sufficient density, egg crates are actually not much good as a soundproofing hack. But they aren't completely useless either. Because of the undulating and uneven body of an egg carton, sound waves cannot bounce off egg cartons and thus will not be able to echo. So if you tactically install egg cartons in sensitive parts of the room, this will help significantly minimize sound echo and reverberations within the room. Well, I hope you've learned something new regarding acoustics in architecture. Watch out for part 2 of Acoustics in Architecture. If you enjoyed this video, please press like, press subscribe to find out the other videos that Arkida has posted, and press the notification bell to notify you for new videos that we are posting out. Click the subscribe button to discover all the other videos in this site. Click the notification bell to be notified about new videos that we post. If you have additional comments, please post them down below or at our Arkida Facebook page, and I will answer all your queries. Thank you.